Hello students, now we are going to start the second part of unit 3rd, that is the laws of motion. In the second part we are going to discuss about the friction. What is the friction? Before discussing friction, the forces are of two types. One is the action at a distance, for example the gravitational force, the force which is acting and the object from the particular distance. And the second one are the contact forces. When there is the direct contact between the two surfaces, the forces those are coming to action, those forces are called the contact forces. And frictional force is the type of the contact force. Frictional force is the type of the contact force. Means let us suppose this is any surface over which we have placed a block. Now if this block is moved towards the right hand side, there will be the opposing force that will act on the left hand side and act along the tangent of the surface, and this force is called the frictional force. So that's why the frictional force is also sometimes termed as the tangential force. Why? Because the frictional force is acting along the tangent to the surface. Now let's come to the what is the cause of the friction. Cause of friction. Whenever object is going to move on the surface, particular surface, that object is going to depress the area under itself. For example, we are talking about the let us suppose this is the tire of any vehicle. Now this area under the surface of this tire is going to depress. This is going to depress, and due to this depression, or it is going to like this, due to this depression there is the unevenness. Unevenness on the surface is going to be increased, and due to this unevenness there is the some opposition offered to the motion of a particular object, and that opposition is called the friction or the frictional force. Or you can say that in other words, when one object is going to move over the surface of the another, there is the continuously formation of the bonds and the breaking of the bonds between the molecules of the two different surfaces. And due to the breaking and the formation of these molecular bonds, there is the some opposition offered to the motion of the particle or the object, and this opposition is called the frictional force. Now friction is of two types. First one is the static friction. Static means we are talking about the rest. Static means we are talking about the rest. The force of friction, that is exactly counterbalanced by the applied force during the stationary object. Means let us suppose it is the object that is placed on the particular surface, block is placed here. Let us suppose you are going to apply some force capital F toward the left hand side, and condition is this block is at rest. If this block is at rest, means there is some opposing force that is totally balancing the applied force, and it is represented by small s, and it is called the static friction. Means this force Fs is going to counterbalance the applied force, or you can write here as the small fs will be equal to capital F. The applied or the static frictional force will be exactly equal to the applied force. So in this way, the static friction is the frictional force that is totally counterbalance the, that is going to counterbalance the applied force. Now next come to the limiting force of friction. Instead of that, firstly we are going to talk about the kinetic friction. First one is the static friction, second is the kinetic friction. Kinetic, or you can also term it as the dynamic friction. Dynamic or kinetic friction. It is the force of friction that appears when the object is in motion. When the object is moving, the frictional force that is present between the surfaces, that surface is called the that force is called the frictional force or the kinetic friction. Kinetic friction is of the two types. One is the sliding friction, and second one is the rolling friction. Sliding friction is, first example, let us suppose this block is going to move like this. When there is the total contact, all over contact between the two surfaces, the friction, or when the one surface is going to move over the other surface, the frictional force that is appearing, that is going to be known as the sliding friction. Or when one object slide over the other, the frictional force that appears there is called the sliding friction. Rolling friction, when the one object rolls on the surface of the another. For example, the tire is rolling on the surface, a car is moving on the surface, that is called the rolling friction. From our daily life experience, rolling friction is less than the sliding friction. That's why to move the object without tires is very difficult as compared to move the object that is applied with the tires. Okay. So next one is this is the static and the dynamic friction. Next come to the limiting force of friction. Limiting force of friction. What is the limiting force of friction? Limiting force of friction, to explain I am going to consider an example. Let us suppose this is an block placed on the surface. We want to move it. This block is very heavy. Let us suppose firstly one person is trying to pull it towards the right hand side. He has applied force F but are able to move this block. Means there is some frictional force F1 that is opposing this capital F force or counterbalancing this force F. Now let us suppose in the second case I have provided the two persons to pull this block. Let us suppose the total force applied by the two persons is the 2F. Now again this block is not going to move. Means the frictional force is again totally counterbalancing the 2F. Means in the second case, if I have increased the applied force, the frictional force has automatically increased. Now let us suppose, now in the third case, I have provided the 3 persons such that the net force applied is the 3F, and now the block is going to be or able to just slide F3. When I have increased the applied force, the frictional force is also going to increase automatically. At a particular point, the object will just start to slide. The amount of the frictional force that is present at that time, that is called the limiting force of friction, or the maximum force of friction that is present between the two surfaces, that is called the limiting force of friction. Okay, so here the limiting force of friction is the F3, or it is represented by the Fs. Now if I am going to draw the graph between the applied force and the force of friction. Applied force, and on the y-axis there is the frictional force. Initially we have seen here that as the applied force is increased, frictional force is also increased, so the graph will be straight line. Now at this point the frictional force will be maximum, that is called the limiting force of friction, represented by Fs. Fs represents the limiting force of friction. After that, object is going to move. Up to this point or up to point A, there is the static friction. When the object starts to move, there will be the kinetic friction. And always you have seen that the static friction is more than the kinetic friction. Means after the point A, there will be a little decrease in the frictional force. Up to this point the object is at rest or the static, after that there is in motion. So this is the variation of the frictional force with the applied force. Initially when the applied force is going to be increased, the frictional force also increases. At particular point it will be maximum. That is called the limiting force of friction. After that, when the object starts to move, the frictional force is going to decrease because the kinetic friction is less than as compared to the static friction. Clear? Now next come to the next topic, that is coefficient of static friction. Coefficient of static friction. Coefficient of static friction. Now we have defined the limiting force of friction. Limiting force of friction is the maximum force, and limiting force of friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction R. The limiting force of friction, that is written as Fs maximum. Static frictional force, that is the maximum. Fs maximum, that is directly proportional to R. R is the normal reaction. What is the normal reaction? If the object is placed on the surface, its weight is acting vertically downward, there will be the equal and opposite reaction, that is the capital R. R is known here the normal reaction. Now from here, Fs maximum, that will be equal to mu s into R. Mu s is called the coefficient of static friction. It is called the coefficient of static friction. Now from here, mu s will be equal to Fs maximum upon R. So the coefficient of the static friction is defined as the limiting force of friction per unit normal reaction. Okay. Now next one to the coefficient of kinetic friction. Coefficient of kinetic friction. Coefficient of kinetic friction. Now nothing else, we are going to change static with the kinetic. Now the kinetic force of friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction. I am writing here as the Fk, kinetic force of friction, that is directly proportional to R. From here, Fk will be equal to mu k into R. Mu k is known as the coefficient of the kinetic friction, or mu k will be equal to Fk by R. Okay, or simply if we are talking about the coefficient of friction, we will write the limiting force of friction upon normal reaction R. Normal reaction R you can write here, R is equal to mg. ठीक है, clear? Now next topic is the angle of friction and angle of repose and the relation between them. So first one is the angle of friction. Angle of friction. In the angle of friction, I am talking about here any surface on which this is the block. Block is placed on any surface. The weight of the block is acting vertically downward and reaction is acting vertically upward. Now, next let us suppose this is the applied force F. Applied force F. And the resultant of the reaction and applied force F is the R dash. Now the angle, or you can say that we have applied force on the left hand side and this is the frictional force F. The resultant of frictional and the normal reaction R is the R dash. Now the angle between the R dash and this F or F dash, F dash. This is called the angle of friction. What is the angle of friction? Angle of friction is the angle between the frictional force and the resultant angle between the frictional force F dash and the resultant of normal reaction R and this frictional force. So this is the theta. Now we are going to calculate the value of theta. I am going to draw perpendicular from here. such that this is the point OABC, such that AB is equal to OC. From here you can calculate the value of the tan theta. Tan theta will be equal to AB upon OF. Then what will be the value of tan theta? What will be tan theta will be equal to the F by R. So it will be equal to F upon R. Tan theta is equal to F by R. F by R we have written in the last, that is equal to the coefficient of the static friction. From here you will write here as the mu S is equal to tan theta. Mu S is equal to tan theta. Now next come to the angle of repose. Angle of repose. Now to define the angle of repose, I am going to consider an inclined surface. Let us suppose an object is placed on the inclined surface. On this inclined surface, let us suppose the forces. Which one forces are acting here? One is the weight mg, such that it is making an angle alpha with the vertical direction. Weight mg acting at an angle alpha with the vertical direction. Now, here is the mg cos alpha. I am going to divide mg into the component mg cos alpha and mg sin alpha is acting here, and there is the normal reaction R. Now this angle will be also equal to alpha. The angle made by the inclined surface with the horizontal surface, such that the object placed on it at the verge to just incline down. Means हमने वो एंगल देखना है जो आपका इंक्लाइंड प्लेन हॉरिजॉन्टल सरफेस के साथ बना रहा है, जब कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट जो आपने इंक्लाइंड प्लेन के ऊपर प्लेस किया है वो जस्ट स्लाइड डाउन करना शुरू कर रहा है. तो दैट एंगल इज कॉल्ड द एंगल ऑफ रिपोज. That angle is called the angle of repose. Now, in this case, if this object is moving in the downward direction, the frictional force is acting in the upward direction. When it is just going to slide down, the frictional force F will be equal to mg sin alpha and R is equal to mg cos alpha. From here, calculate F by R. F by R will be equal to mg sin alpha upon mg cos alpha. Mg goes with mg. From here you are going to calculate tan theta will be equal to F by R. And F by R we have already done, that is the coefficient of the static friction. From here mu S is equal to tan alpha. Alpha is called the angle of repose. Now name it equation 1. This is the equation number 2. From equation 1 and 2 you can compare from here. Tan theta is equal to tan of alpha, or theta will be equal to alpha, or the angle of repose is equal to angle of friction. This is the relation between the angle of repose and angle of friction. Now next come to the acceleration of the body sliding down an rough inclined plane. We have to calculate acceleration of body sliding down rough inclined plane. A body is sliding down a rough inclined plane, and we have to calculate the acceleration produced in that object. Now let us suppose this is the inclined plane, such that the angle of inclination is theta. This is the object here placed on this inclined plane that is going to slide down. Now the frictional force is acting in the upward direction. Now its weight is acting at theta with the vertical. Theta with the vertical. So here will be the mg cos theta component, and on this side there will be the mg sin theta, and normal reaction R is acting in the upward direction. Okay. Now the weight of the body or the R is equal to mg cos theta. There is the no motion in the vertical direction. The object is not moving like this. Means R is equal to mg cos theta. R is equal to mg cos theta. Question number 1. Now this object is moving in the downward direction. Means net force F dash is acting in the downward direction, and that net force F dash will be equal to mg sin theta minus F, because the F force is acting in the upward direction, mg sin theta is acting in the downward direction. So F dash will be equal to mg sin theta minus of F. Now F dash will be equal to m into a, if m is the mass of the object and a is the acceleration produced in the object. Now mg sin theta minus of F. Favorite equation number 1. Now if mu k is the coefficient of static friction, is the coefficient of static friction, by the definition of mu k, that is equal to F by R. From here F will be equal to mu k R. So put the value of F in here. By considering the value of the R from equation number 1, you will get ma, that is equal to mg sin theta minus of mu k into mg cos theta. From the right hand side take m common. Ma, that is equal to m into g sin theta minus mu k into g cos theta. M goes with n, and you are left with a is equal to g also common, sin theta minus mu k cos theta. This is the acceleration produced in the object that is sliding down an inclined plane. This is the acceleration produced in the object that is going to slide down. Now next one is the, if the sliding up object is sliding up, what will be the changes here? I am going to make the changes here. Now in this case the object is moving in the upward direction. Object is moving in the upward direction, means F dash, net force is acting in the upward direction, and the frictional force is acting in the downward direction. Frictional force is acting in the downward direction. So in this way you will write R is equal to mg cos theta same. Now from here F dash will be equal to mg sin theta plus F. It will be mg sin theta plus F. Here will be again plus F, and here will be plus sin plus F. This is the result. mg plus mu k cos theta. So in this way you can calculate the acceleration of the object that is sliding down the inclined plane and sliding up the inclined plane. Okay. Now next topic is the friction is a necessary event. Friction is necessary event. Next topic is the friction is necessary event. It means friction is required, also non-required, or you can say what are the advantages and disadvantages of frictional force. What are the advantages? I am writing on the board. This is also due to the frictional force. You are able to walk on the floor. That is also due to the frictional force. Okay. These are the some applications of the frictional force. And what are the disadvantages? In some cases the friction is non-required. Friction is going to reduce the efficiency of the working machines, and due to that the different parts of the machines are under the tear and wear. So although you can also combine the advantages and disadvantages of the frictional force. So our next one is the reducing the friction. How can you reduce the friction? To reduce the friction we can use the lubricant, we can polish the surfaces, or you can convert the sliding friction into the rolling friction. Okay, so this is all about the friction. In the next lecture we will start the third part of this unit, that is the centripetal force or the centrifugal force, or you can say that the dynamic circular motion. Thank you.